Welcome to Tesla Talks. I'm your host, Tiana. I'll be interviewing high achievers, influential leaders, and those with powerful stories. Tune in, buckle up. We're about to go 0 to 100 real quick. Welcome to Tesla Talks. Today we have an amazing guest. I'm so honored and so excited for this conversation and road trip. Taryn, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
It is fun. This is a good time.
I know. Literally, we just started the episode, but we have just been hanging out. It's been fun. Tell me, how have you been? How are things going?
Good. So good. I mean, it was just Thanksgiving. We're getting into the holidays.
How was that?
So good. Great. Life's crazy.
Life's crazy. You need to take a moment to kind of just pause a little bit and enjoy the moment, right?
Oh yeah, totally enjoy the moment. It's all good things, but it's been a wild ride. 2023 has been wild.
Oh my gosh.
In all the best ways.
Oh, I love that. No, I feel like if you're having a lot going on and your life is kind of busy, it is a sign that there's a lot of good coming in and a lot of shifting with the universe for you, and things are just in movement.
Yeah. Yes.
So
100%. I'm just grateful. Just grateful to be here.
Oh my gosh. I'm grateful that you're here. So for everyone in the back seat on the road trip with us, tell us a little bit about yourself, because I am so excited for them to meet you.
Oh gosh. Hi, I'm Taryn Nevis. I'm a mom, a wife. I have 2 kids. One biological son, one adopted son.
They are gorgeous.
They are so cute.
They're so beautiful.
I run a women's coaching group called Gentle Warrior.
Yes.
So takes up the majority of my time. I homeschool.
You homeschool?
I homeschool.
Holy cow, woman. That's incredible.
Thank you. Yes. I just don't trust society. So yeah.
Well, these parents are honestly the most impressive. They're such a cool couple. I'm so glad that your children have you to look up to and to learn from.
Thank you.
I feel it's got to be a very specific person or set of parents to take on homeschooling. But I feel like the way you're in coaching, you're in so many positions where you're helping people grow. That's how parenting should be. It should be deep mentorship, and you're the closest to your kids, and they're the ones that are taking so much of what you're doing, and they're observing you.
Yes.
So there's a lot of that learning, but there's a lot of the smallest percentage of what they learn is what you're telling them, but what you're showing them right now, what you're showing all of us, it's incredible. And I'm so impressed with that, and I know your kids are just incredible, and
thank you.
They're gonna be just like you guys.
Oh gosh, I hope they're better than we are. But yeah, thank you. I care a lot about healing. That's why I'm in the coaching space. That's what Gentle Warrior is all about. I'm really passionate about women. I'm really passionate about women empowerment.
Yes.
And so with homeschooling, it was there are so many things that aren't taught in the school system.
Oh, absolutely.
Even just emotional regulation, how to meditate, how to have a conversation with somebody, how to actually do finances, so many things, entrepreneurship that isn't taught in the school system that I care a lot about. And so
just things kind of everything. I don't know.
Yes, everything that matters.
To be an adult.
Yeah.
It's launchpad to adult, and then when you're adult and you're just okay,
I know
how do I do this?
Yeah.
How do I literally everything. Well, that's so important. I feel like not everyone should be homeschooling their kids. I don't think everyone's necessarily
no, probably not.
Maybe equipped to teach them all those things from their personal experience and expertise. But I think
I'm not even equipped to teach all of that. But I know
you're
right people.
So much further ahead than a lot of people emotionally, and success wise and business wise. I feel like that is.
Thank you.
You're incredible. You've got so many things to offer your children, and also just the world. And I think I was homeschooled for a little second while my family moved to Italy, and so they pulled us out of school and they got us private teachers, which was a huge blessing. Super grateful for that. But that was some time in my life where I realized, oh my gosh, you would never get this from school, or like experiences that you can't have if you're in school.
Yeah.
And I feel like experiences teach us a lot.
Yes.
And so, I don't know. I feel like...
I love that. I feel like you should come over and teach me
Oh my gosh.
Because I didn't have that experience.
Well, I feel like, well, it's so crazy how like, yeah, experiences are the biggest teachers, and sometimes it comes in fun packages. Sometimes it's what it needs to be to teach us what we want it, like what we need to get from it. But
totally.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, so you're doing all of these amazing things. Like, take us back to like younger Taryn. Tell us about her. What is she like?
Dear, how young? Just kidding. I was raised in a seemingly normal LDS home in Utah. My parents are married. They're still married. But it was a very hard childhood for myself based off of what happened in my childhood that I created stories around. That I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't talented enough, that I was unlovable.
Oh,
and that's just true. And so I was a very angry, quiet, reserved child and teenager. But I also learned to get very defensive. And so even like childhood through high school, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. I did not do well with small talk. I did not do well with people pleasing. Like if you were bugging me, I would tell you were bugging me.
Yeah.
Like I was just, it wasn't confrontational. It was just blunt.
Yeah.
Because I learned that's how I had to be to survive.
Right.
And I danced my whole life. I played piano my whole life. My whole life was very like organized. I always had something to do. Gosh, even in high school, I was at dance rehearsal at 6 a.m. and then I had dance till 10 o'clock at night.
So you were just active. You had a lot of things going on as a kid.
I had a lot of things going on. I didn't have a whole lot of time to like think or process things. I was just busy. And I loved it that way.
Yeah.
I loved it that way. As I got older, I got married when I was 20, really young.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
So great. I met Jeremy. He is the greatest human ever.
Where'd you guys meet?
Church.
Oh, awesome.
So his parents moved into my parents' ward. And I don't know how many people are LDS listening to this, but I feel like LDS people know that terminology. Right? It's like, yeah, a congregation. They moved into their congregation and we were both home for Christmas because we were both in college.
Yeah.
We were home for Christmas. And we were sitting next to our families and he kept turning around and staring at me the whole time. And I was like,
hi.
That's how we met.
And that's how I met your mother. Just kidding.
Gosh, I was 19. So young. And then we got married when I was 20. He was 25. And yeah, I mean, that's younger me. We had a really rough start to our marriage. I talk a lot about this on social media. We talk a lot about relationships and building a good marriage. I didn't have a great marriage that I watched growing up. And so I just didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And honestly, when you're young, I don't know about elsewhere in the world, but I feel like a really common thing here in Utah is when you get married, people give you advice, and it was like the advice I heard the most was you only have a certain amount of time to train your husband. It's like train your husband.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning like put the toilet seat down.
Yeah. So you were just kind of told get it all set the way you want it to be.
Yes.
For the rest of your marriage because of the expectations.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And like you need to teach your husband, if you want to have a good marriage, he needs to like worship you and you've got to teach him what to do. And
Which you should because you're a goddess.
I mean, yes. But also no. Don't do that. We just came from very different backgrounds, which most people do. Most people get married. But there's no like advice other than therapy. Or back then there wasn't. I mean,
right. There's not like a roadmap that
now.
will tell you this is how you navigate this. This is how you should do this.
Oh yeah, no. 12 years ago,
like
that
I
was
found
not
out,
a thing.
And yeah.
Yeah. And so we had a rough start to marriage.
Like the first year, like the normal first year of it being.
The first year was pure hell. We actually separated our first year. Yes. And then for a short time. And then it was kind of just, let's like brush it under the rug and like learn how to handle each other better. And it got better, but it still wasn't like a great marriage.
It was just kind of like not at where it was, but now it's like better.
Yeah.
Or maybe just like more manageable.
More manageable because we just stuffed stuff under the rug. Like if there was a thing, it would just be like, oh, it didn't happen. Like, let's just act happy.
Like pretend like it didn't happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that was me prior to now. Really. That's what kind of started our healing journey, and then miscarriages. I mean, so much stuff was in there. Gosh. But that was younger Taryn. Angry.
Angsty. Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
It's not a phase, Mom. Just leave me alone. It's my life.
Yes. I was the peacekeeper in my house. I had to be an adult at a young age just because of everything that was going on in my life. And so that was childhood. Like it was get it done. Like get this done, handle it this way, communicate almost harshly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was me.
So when you're so up until the point where you got married and everything, you obviously had a lot of emotional, like we all do.
Yes.
Like a lot of discovery of self. Like, did you feel like you had like a good sense of self and identity at that age, or like when you got married?
No. I feel like I thought that I knew who I was based off of how I was conditioned to believe was good or not. I cared a lot about being a good girl. I cared a lot about pleasing other people and doing what was right. But not to the point of being kind, to the point of like harsh criticism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that for sure. Where it's almost that's the expectation.
Yes.
And it's kind of like predetermined for you a little bit.
Yes. I was really hard on myself.
Like being yourself was like your identity was how you should be.
Yes.
And not I feel like this is me. I feel like this is how I feel about things. Maybe, is that correct?
100%. 100%.
Do you feel like that was like, what do you think that was attributed to? Like your home life or
home life,
culture,
religion, culture, so many things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you ever come to a point where like, because I know you now, and I know you've done so much work on yourself and so much where you're in a point where you can help other people, which is so admirable, and that's such a huge accomplishment. But in order to like feel comfortable and ready to help others with that, like where did your journey with self-discovery and getting to where you are now start? And I'm guessing that also happened kind of in conjunction with your marriage, and because you and your husband are seemingly very connected and very on the same page and have a lot of similar goals.
Yes. I think it was for sure all really close, but my marriage, and then I had 4 miscarriages, and then 4 after my first son.
My gosh.
So I had Nixon, my oldest, and then I had 4 miscarriages after that. I had multiple surgeries to see what was wrong. Nothing was wrong. And so it kind of was like, okay, well then this has to be emotional. So that kind of got me on my healing journey. And then our oldest son, Nixon, as well, he's different. He loves all things girl, like, and he came that way. Like at 1.5, he wanted a mama doll, which was a Barbie, a blonde Barbie. Like, I want a mama doll. I want a mama doll. He loved to play dress up. He loved all things princesses. Everything was Elsa forever, which was just different. And we talked to a lot of people that are like, oh, my daughter's like really into sports. It's like, yeah, but girls being tomboys is way more accepted than boys being into girl things, right? And so a combination of all of those things were just like, like, what do we believe? Like, who are we? How do I parent this kid to love himself?
Mm-hmm.
Because we tried taking it away, putting him around all boy things, and it didn't work. It made him hate us.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really what was the catalyst for us to get on this healing journey and fix our relationship and ourselves, really. So, yeah.
Wow. Because, I could see how the shoulds and like, well, I could see that in your position, you're just like, okay, so we have like what we thought we need to do in a situation. You have people who are probably interjecting, having their opinions about things. And so, I feel like with anything, I think it's so important to understand why you do what you do and be so intentional, because like we say a lot on the podcast, like, are you on autopilot?
Yeah.
Are you doing things because you're programmed to do that?
Yeah.
Culturally, emotionally, from either your upbringing or religion or people in school, people in your friend group. Like, we are so programmed to think a certain way, right, wrong. It doesn't really your subconscious doesn't know what is real and what is true or right or wrong when it's programmed in your early years. And so you have to do a lot of unlearning and a lot of relearning.
Yes.
And
so much.
I think it's so important that you guys sat down and imagining this situation that you had to kind of like reevaluate and just see what you believe on so many levels, I imagine.
Yes.
Oh
my gosh.
Emotionally, your marriage probably, I mean, I think, I feel like
every level. It's
level.
Like sexually, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like, it was like, oh, okay, where am I at? What do I believe here? All of it, right? It blew up everything. It was like, okay, we have to rebuild if we want to make this work. And not just me and my husband, but like, if I want to live a happy life, like, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you feel like that was like, did it get harder before it got easier, more clear?
My gosh. Yes, 100%.
Like, did your life kind of fall apart, or was it like, okay, well, let's just like make our life a little bit like an IKEA set, like just all in pieces first, and just reevaluate and then rebuild it?
No, I mean, if I'm being truly honest, I do think things have to get to a breaking point before you can truly rebuild. There's a saying that we want God to come in and paint our walls white, but God wants to come in and fix the entire foundation.
Ooh,
and I truly believe that. I truly believe that we think we have things figured out. And in order for us to actually be learning, we have to remove everything. And that does require a breaking point.
Wow.
Truly.
And do you feel like, obviously, everyone's on their journey and we're always growing, we're always rebuilding a little bit of ourselves, but do you feel like now is like, do you feel like you're at your destination of where you wanted to be when you you kind of reevaluated at that point? Or do you feel like there's still a lot to go?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to go. I am so beyond grateful and happy with where I'm at in my life and what I've accomplished and who I've become. And I have so much more that I'm chasing. Yeah. Like, there's so much more. I really don't believe in, how do I phrase this? I don't like associating with people who think they know it all. Because if you know it all, there's nothing more to learn.
That's so true.
I constantly want to be learning and uncovering. Sister. I love that. Right? And even when I'm teaching my clients, I never, ever teach from a space of like, I know this. It's always like, we're learning this. Like, we're in this together.
I love that.
And that's truly what I believe.
I love that about you because I agree. If we're not growing, then we don't need other people. We're not. The worst thing I think the worst thing that can happen is that you're not a better person a year from now, or you're not to not reach your potential. That is my Roman Empire / nightmare.
Yes.
Like if I am not the person that I even close to, if I'm not even trying to become the person that I was supposed to be or get closer to my potential, oh, that keeps me up at night. Does that not like scare you? Like,
it definitely is a fear, right? Like, I know that I'll never be there though. Right. That is one thing I do know, because I care a lot about growing and you care a lot about growing. So don't let that keep you up at night.
No, totally. Right? No, but it's a motivator. I feel like
it's 100% a motivator.
It's when you're not doing those things that you should be, maybe like you get that like growing feeling. But if you're constantly moving, I feel like you can give 100% effort and be confident in your efforts and what you're doing, because you're never going to be perfect. Yeah. Not to be confused with perfection. That you're not going to attain perfection. But I feel like as long as you're constantly in a space and a mindset where you're wanting to grow, I feel like you're in a good place.
Oh, 100%.
It's when you're stagnant and you wonder why you're not where you want to be, or you don't want to, you're not open to being molded and being changed.
I love the fact that you use the word open, because it is all about like letting in the journey of life, which does come with ups and downs, and riding that roller coaster and finding the beauty in it. That's what helped you grow, right? So often, and I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I know, really, really successful people that are chasing the money or chasing the fame or the success or the perceived whatever it is. And they're avoiding the lows, or they're avoiding the blind spots. If their home life is crappy, then they're working really hard to like make more money,
like to compensate for
it, right? And it really is about looking at where things are falling apart and taking accountability for them and taking ownership for them.
Ooh, yes.
And looking at it and working at it. It's not like hustling through to make it go away, if that makes sense.
To make it kind of a little bit more, not like, not manageable, but just so it's more comfortable.
Yes.
And sweeping it under the rug, like you said.
We can't sweep things under the rug. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I agree. Yeah. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Have you ever heard of that one story or the analogy about the buffaloes in the storm?
Yes. Where the buffaloes head toward the storm and the cows run away.
They run straight towards the storm. Yeah. Eagles do the same thing. They go straight towards the storm. And what do the cows do? The cows, they're running from it, but they're never going to outrun it because it's just right behind it. Yeah. But you have to look your insecurities and the hardships of your life and where you're not, the inconsistencies of your life of where you're not maybe at your optimal level. Yeah. Brutally honestly. Yeah. Because I believe that if you don't fix certain things in your life or you don't learn a specific lesson, it's going to keep coming back to you, and it's going to come back until you learn it.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be louder and louder and louder
until you realize what it is. And you're like, exactly. All right. It's kind of like a kid. Exactly. As a mother, you understand this, where it's like, Mom, like, and I don't know if they're hungry or if they have something they need you to know, like, and it's getting more and more urgent. Like, Mom, I'm really hungry. Can I have a snack? And we're maybe busy. I don't know. I'm sure you're a gentle parent, but just like some parents
My kids would say otherwise.
Hey, I'm busy. Like, hey, and like, it's kind of like, you're
you just
alarm. There are a lot of ways to describe that, but like analogies, but the universe has a funny way of like, Mom, I'm hungry. Like, I need this now. And you probably get a major blowout and you're like, okay, not down.
Yes.
And like the universe will be like, listen. Oh yeah. And you're like, I'm listening.
Oh,
sometimes, like you said, gets down to the bottom of everything, and you have your breaking point where you're like, all right, I'm listening.
Yes.
I'm listening, Kate. You got my attention. But sometimes that teaches you, it teaches me, where I'm like, hey, be aware of the early signs. And that comes with being open.
It comes with being open and aware. Exactly. So, you know.
You know.
You know how to do it.
T, you got this.
Yeah, T.
T. Oh my gosh. So like, there's so many fascinating things about you that I honestly feel like we need to reroute this trip and maybe make it a longer road trip or just go on another one, because there's so many facets to you, which I find just so cool.
Thank you.
Describe where you're at now. So we know that you're doing Gentle Warrior. Describe where you're at now and give us an idea of what you're aiming for, because you said that you have a lot bigger goals.
Yeah.
Current Taryn is just killing it.
I'm killing it.
I'm just like, I'm always watching what you're posting and what you're doing, and I'm just like, you go, sister. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm just rooting you on.
Oh, you're so
like,
sweet.
Tell everyone like what you're so where's
sweet.
Taryn at? Where's she going?
So Gentle Warrior is my women's coaching group. I have 60 women, 2 groups.
60?
60. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And you're homeschooling.
And I'm homeschooling.
I have a house plant, Taryn.
I'm actually not very good at house plants.
Oh my gosh, really?
I can have kids. I can run women, but house plants, that's a whole nother animal.
Half of mine are fake. I'm so sorry to admit. So you can imagine my just admiration here.
Well, don't judge your ability to care for things off of a houseplant.
Sometimes I forget to charge my phone. and
so
and these are living beings, and that is
they matter. I know that. I know that. I mean, so are the plants, but on a range of things.
We can hide the plants. We can't get away with not feeding our kids and things like that.
Exactly.
I'm hopeful.
Exactly.
I'm hopeful for someday.
Oh, you got this. You got this.
But that's so incredible, like how you're able to do that. And I'm sure, like they say, like it's a day by day.
It's 100% a day.
Was it 60 out the gate, or was that like you have groups that started a little bit smaller and then you grew them?
So the way it runs is I launch a group, and then I typically open that same group a month after, because women will see, wait, I want to be a part of this, and then I'll add them in. But it's a year-long commitment, and so I don't add any women to that group anymore. It's a family. This really is about creating belonging, because there is healing in belonging. And the content that I take them through, the teaching that we take them through, if I added somebody 4 months in, they just wouldn't be ready for where they're at.
Oh, just with the way that the program goes with their journey.
Yes,
gotcha.
Exactly. And these women are family. So I
love that.
I launched last January, and it was very successful. My first launch was very successful.
Oh my gosh.
I'm shocked. I think I had just, from being very authentic on my social media and sharing my truth.
Yeah.
People were attracted to that and the authenticity that came with that. And so I launched January of 2023. My launch weekend, I sold over $100,000 in coaching. So it's been very successful.
Oh my gosh.
It's been very successful.
That's amazing.
Right
you
out the gate.
treated yourself, right?
I say that again.
How did you celebrate?
I did buy myself a Chanel bag.
Let's go.
Yes. My husband and I created an incentive.
That's how I operate as well.
Great. They're great, and I love my Chanel, and it has a story behind it now.
Right. No.
Right?
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Which makes it so much better.
Yeah,
but
you deserve it.
So I have 37 women in my first group and 23 in my second group.
Oh my gosh.
My second group I launched in August. I had actually over 60 women apply for my group too, but I got pickier. I do an interview process. I want them to be at a specific place. I want them to be ready to learn. I want them to be ready to dive in, because we go deep. Like, we do really deep work.
I've seen some of the videos, like at the retreats, there's breath work. I've done breath work. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking like, I'm just going to sit here. Like, clearly not understanding breath work. Yeah, like, I'm just going to relax and just be really present, because maybe I just not need, I won't be about my phone. I'm just picturing this scenario. And let me tell you, the breath is life. And I'm sure you know this. And where you're holding different things in your body.
Yes.
We can dive into that, but for another episode, we just have to do that. But
oh my gosh, it's so good.
I was sobbing, Taryn. I was like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
I came in here just like, life is amazing. It is. But I was like, but why am I crying? Like, why?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was like inner child or just stored emotions.
Yeah.
And
yes.
did a lot of that happen? Did people experience something like that?
Oh
or
my gosh. Yes.
Am I the only one that like that happened to? Please say
no.
that wasn't.
Oh no, we all have emotion, even if it's not from something specific. Like I could have felt sad last week and I didn't allow myself to process it, and then it'll come out in breathwork, right? So it doesn't always have to be the big thing, but it usually is when we start healing. It's like, okay, this is inner child stuff. This is like old stuff. But yeah, we do breathwork, and we've got, I mean, my last retreat, statistically, I have a lot of women that have been raped, molested, just because 1 in 3 women have that are recorded.
Oh my gosh.
In our last retreat, we had women just screaming at the top of their lungs at their abusers during breathwork, which was just, I was in tears because I wasn't doing the breathwork. I was helping facilitate and was holding the space. And I was just in tears because it's so beautiful to watch these women take their power back from things that have happened. So yeah.
No, just watching the videos. I was like, cool. I need to lock myself in the closet. Oh my gosh.
That's pretty cool.
But I was like, this is incredible. And was there ever like a moment where you were maybe like on the fence about doing this? Or was this something that you really wanted to do and you fully were determined to do this? Or
so I'm a non-specific manifestor. I don't know if you've gotten into human design at all.
Mm-hmm.
And which is really funny when you learn, because everything out there right now prior to human design was like manifesting, like get really specific, get your vision board. And I was like, this does not work for me.
You're not like the scrapbook, put the pictures on the wall.
If I would do that, it would not happen.
Really?
Oh yeah, no.
I'm the very opposite.
Which I
have
love.
Them all over which everyone's different.
I love that for you.
But tell me about how you do it.
The way that I am is I know what I want. I know my purpose. And I have a general idea of where I'm going, but God has a way better plan for what it's going to look like than I could ever create myself. Yes. And so it's just, I'm just doing the work, and I'm focusing on who I am and who I'm becoming and what I need to look at. And I'm trusting. In fact, even this year I did ayahuasca for the second time. I went to Costa Rica and did ayahuasca earlier this year.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if you know much about plant medicine, but the plant medicine, it's essentially a spirit from the Amazon, and it speaks to you. It's kind of like talking to God. And the medicine was like, actually this year you're not allowed to listen to any podcasts. You're not allowed to read any books, because I'm focused on teaching you what your messaging is, not what other people's messaging is. And it was interesting because that's when I launched my program. And so everything in my program I wrote. It wasn't, and it was directly from God through me to who I'm teaching. And I do teach from that space. I do meditate, and I focus on who I'm dealing with and who's in front of me. And so sometimes I'm coaching. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to teach right now. And God's like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, all right. And then it's great.
I love that.
But yeah, it's been a journey for sure.
And I'm just like picturing like younger Taryn who the sources that you looked for, those directional cues, and now like where you get your power and where you take your direction. That was so powerful to hear you say that from this place and this space, because you're open and you're allowing something greater to kind of direct you in your life.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it's all about.
Have chills. I do. That was so powerful, because I mean, I was telling you earlier that I came out of a 5-month coma. And obviously I am here for a purpose.
Yeah.
And those purposes were way greater than I could probably come up with. But I've had experiences where God's really opened up my mind a little bit at a time and prepared me for a bigger piece of it and a bigger understanding. a lot of those are through experiences or people or just pure downloading of the bigger view of it. But and I hope that it's to make a massive impact too.
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason, and everyone is.
Yeah.
Everyone's here. They don't need to go through the experience of being in a coma, but God has something so incredible for you, and it's crazy how little we're able to actually like
understand or even comprehend.
Comprehend.
Yes.
And like, what do you want your legacy to be? I'm so curious because I know you're making an amazing and deeply profound impact on those that you are directly teaching and coaching. But I know that it's even beyond the group that you're doing for Gentle Warrior. What is your mission, your hope of a legacy? What do you want to leave?
Well, my purpose statement is I inspire millions of women around the world to find and live into their gentle warrior selves by putting God, myself, and my family first in my life. That's my purpose statement. And I believe I'm accomplishing that.
I think
pertaining to my legacy, I truly don't believe that I'll be remembered 2 generations from now. But I hope the impact that I make is that I am teaching other people and leading by example that you have everything that you need within you. You are the medicine, not only for yourself, but for the people in your life. And that's it. That's enough. That's what I hope that it is.
I'm just blown away by you.
Thank you.
I really think that you are living that right now. Just go follow Taryn. You'll know what I mean. Just, it's incredible. You can tell that you are in your power. You're in this place in your life where, everything you post is so inspiring. Just conversations with you. You are leaving a legacy. You are leaving something beautiful for this world. I like to ask this question because I like to get to know like a good general idea of like where you've been, who you are, and just you as a person. But what would you tell younger Taryn from this place that you're in now?
Oh gosh, what would I tell younger Taryn? That's such a good question. You got this, babe.
I know there are a lot of people listening to this podcast who have been where you've been and are currently trying to figure out what they believe in, who they are, where they're going. What is advice that you would give them?
My advice is to silence the noise. Get off social media. Stop listening to your parents and your friends. Go get out in nature. And listen, because you already know the answer. This life isn't about learning. This life is about remembering. And you already knew everything prior to coming here. Mm-hmm. You just have to listen and remember. That's what I would say.
Taryn, you're such a beautiful human in your spirit. If you can feel what I'm feeling, and I hope that you can feel the chills right now. Oh my gosh. So good. Oh my gosh, we can go on forever, honestly.
I could talk for hours. I'm a talker.
So. Oh, I'm a talker too.
Thank you so much.
Are you a Cancer, by the way?
Yes.
I knew it. And we're both T, by the way.
T.
We figured
Cancers.
That out. Let's go. Oh my gosh. And I try not to be very scripted with this podcast. I've very minimally looked at any notes or anything. Just be completely transparent with everyone listening and with you, Taryn, that I believe that there is a purpose for this podcast. And I have never done podcasting before. And I just felt very pushed to do this show for the purpose of helping other people become their best selves. And I'm on my growing journey as well. I'm not perfect or where I think my potential is capped at all. I'm imperfectly showing up. And I just want people to know with this podcast, and I know that you believe this as well, that just get started. You have amazing potential, and you have been designed to do incredible and inspiring things. You are not ordinary. You are extraordinary, and you have so many amazing things. I don't care what your circumstances are. I don't care who raised you. I don't care what people have told you in the past. I don't care what your friends think of you. I don't care what you think about you, in the regard that it could be negative self-beliefs or negative self-talk. I don't care about any of that. Listen to me right now. You are extraordinary, and you have a purpose, and you have something incredible to do with your life. Please re-listen to that and know that there is everything inside of you, like Taryn said, to do what you feel your journey is. You have everything inside of you to accomplish what you need and what you're designed and created to do. And if you don't know what that is yet, sit with yourself and really just be calm and quiet. God, the universe, and your spirit will tell you. Just be calm. Just be quiet. And I'm here for you. We're on this road trip together. We're on this journey together, and our destination is beautiful. Yes, there's different stop signs for exits, detours, U-turns. But just know that you got this. It's so much beautiful. It's so beautiful where you're going, and I just want you to know that you got this, and you're amazing. And please follow Taryn. She has so many amazing things that she's sharing. She's making a beautiful impact on the world. And I'm so glad we got to do this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it was so
You're
fun.
So awesome.
You're so awesome. And please follow this podcast, follow Taryn, follow Gentle Warrior. If it is speaking to you, please apply. If you're ready to make that change, to fully commit to your growth, please check out Gentle Warrior, and have an amazing day, week. Give everything you got. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.